In 1925, International Children's Day was first proclaimed in Geneva during the World Conference on Child Welfare. Subsequently, different countries have chosen different days for the celebration of children. In Nigeria, it's the 27th of May. So you would ask, what does Business Morning have to do with that? Well, we'll begin this episode of the program by celebrating some young entrepreneurs in this report produced by Will Ibong.
It started at the age of 5 with posing as a model for her father, who was a photographer. 11 years later, Chimoya Izeugo started as a product photographer in Abuja with a little savings and had little help along the way.
I didn't start big scale at once. I had to use people's gadgets, especially in church. Church was a great place to start. I had to use the gadgets at church at the meantime. Then over time, I started using the proceeds I made from it to get my own equipment.
For 8 years now, she's been making pictures in this room.
A lot of customers see photography as just you pose, you snap, and they really do not know all the work and expenses that go into it. You have to pay light bills, and if there's no light, you have to get fuel for generator, you have to get equipment, because you constantly have to upgrade if you want to give them quality products.
Earning about 70,000 naira every month, Chimoya wants to grow a company and dreams of pursuing a university degree in photography, a plan that does not sit well with her parents.
Well, at first they thought I was talking about it from the hobby aspect. But then when I started saying things like, oh, I would love to go to school and study photography, they were like, what are you saying? I already said I was going to go and study medicine. So turning to say I wanted to be a photographer for the rest of my life, it was a battle. They didn't take it well.
For Hope Danjuma, CEO of Awito Kitchen, the kitchen is a haven.
I love cooking. I enjoy cooking. It's one thing I find pleasure in doing. I started cooking at the age of 13.
Hope says a mother was very supportive and helped her in the early stage of the catering business.
My mom actually helped me. She actually bought the food stuff for me. So I just started off. I don't know how much basically, because she was the one that did everything.
But to stay competitive, Hope shares a grit and entrepreneurial spirit.
Most times I add free drink or I just make promo. Sometimes I'll be like, if you buy 2 plates, you get 1 plate. If you buy 3 plates, I do that from time to time just to get in customers. And if you refer a friend, if you refer 2 friends, you get 1 plate.
Achieving a goal of becoming an intercontinental restaurant owner requires some help from the government.
The price of food should at least be stable, and then the lights, because as can see, there's no light. So if the light is stable, at least to reduce cost of things, and things in the markets are increasing every day. So if they can help with that, so it's going to be good.
For Omilola Oshikoya, business coach and founder of Richer Kids Club, it's not much about the money they make, but about a change in mindset and the value they create. Mrs. Oshikoya believes young people in Nigeria can succeed as entrepreneurs, but the challenge is the Nigerian education system.
The curriculum in Nigeria sadly is outdated. The curriculum in Nigeria it's almost like garbage in, garbage out. So what you're doing is you're cramming and you're just pouring out, not understanding, not allowing you to think, to come up with ideas. So we need to, as a matter of national urgency, if we want to be a global player, if we want to take advantage of the opportunities that the pandemic has brought about, which should enable us to use technology to scale and to create revenue for the economy, we need to update our curriculum.
Financial literacy, she says, is also important.
We were working on a financial literacy animation series that is supposed to go all over Africa. So we're looking at using media as well to drive in financial literacy. So we're trying to call it edutainment.
With programs like this coming on board, the future seems bright for young or aspiring business owners. Will Ibong, Channels Television News.
Well, a lot of conversations coming up from that report, from the issue of looking into mindset, the curriculum of our education, and parents encouraging children to actually find their passion early and pursue it. Well, the theme for this year's Children's Day celebration is investing in our future, means investing in our children. Now, one group that has been working with that has been Codrus, and that's why we have Ayodele Oni. He's the head retail Codrus Asset Management Limited. They've been working with some children, and he joins us on the program now with one of the children, Itaolu Akishi Tomemowo. Sorry about that. Tomemowo Itaolu Akishi from Supreme Education Foundation. Good morning. Good to have you guys in the studio. Itaolu Akishi. She told me that I have to call it in full every time. Itaolu Akishi, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Happy Children's Day.
Thank you very much.
I hope you've been having fun, or is it too early to ask?
Oh, well.
It's been serious business.
Yes.
All right, Ms. Alni, so you've been working with the children in preparation for Children's Day, and looking at the theme, yes. Investing in children, I mean, investing in our future is investing in children. Yes. We also have the responsibility, I mean, from that report, to also help the children build the culture yes. of investing yes. and saving. Yes. What have you found out, you know, with these children you've been working with for some time now? What are the traits you have seen amongst them?
Okay, thank you very much for having us. It's very important that we realize that children, according to the Child Rights Act in Nigeria, are persons below the age of 18 years. And we have a responsibility, especially on a Children's Day like this, to actually advocate for their rights, to promote awareness around these children, and of course to also improve on their welfare. So what we've observed is that, you know, children will always be children, but we as parents and guardians have a responsibility to actually help them by developing that culture to save, to invest, and to create value for the society. In the words of the United Nations Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, who said that children are showing great strength and leadership for a sustainable world. However, we as parents and guardians, let us recommit to putting children first, every right for every child. So it's our responsibility to teach them, to train them on savings, on investment. Of course, children want to spend it all. Children want to enjoy the goodies and all the toys and all. But we have that responsibility to teach them to create that behavior right from the start.
So you had a debate with students from Supreme Education Foundation. What was the theme of that debate?
Okay, yesterday we launched the Every Child a Milestone Fund, just like you can see. And the initiative is actually built around encouraging parents and guardians to look at developing savings and investment culture for their children using our flagship product, the Codrus Milestone Fund. Yesterday, we launched the initiative and we invited two schools, Supreme Education Foundation and Alleyfield School in Maryland. And the debate was about engaging around whether children who save and invest early actually become more financially independent than children born into wealth. And it was a very tough and engaging session yesterday.
I can imagine.
So eventually, Supreme Education Foundation actually topped and won the debate competition.
Okay, and Itaolu Akishi was the speaker?
Yes, was
one
the lead
of the
debater.
speakers,
yes.
The debater.
Yes.
So tell us, what side were you on?
I was supporting.
You were supporting what?
I was supporting children who start saving and investing early are more likely to be more financially independent than children who are born into wealth.
Do you believe that, or you were just given the topic? Tell me.
I was just giving the topic. I had to win.
So do you think that children who were born into a wealthy family background will have better habits in investing than those who were taught Which one do you think?
Well, I believe it's a skill. So those who are taught actually kind of excel more than those who decide to get older before they actually have that particular skill. So I believe those who are taught.
Okay. So was that a lesson you learned from preparing for that debate, or have you always known that?
I've always known that, but I haven't really kept in the back of my mind something that I would want to do because I'm actually very terrible at saving. So I think I will start saving now.
When is now?
Maybe tomorrow.
I thought it would be today.
Oh, no.
So when you say you will start saving from what now? From where do you get the money from?
I have allowances from my parents. I have family members who come around and give us gifts. And I recently published a book, so I got money from that. So
What's the title of your book?
The Pen Lady.
The Pen Lady.
Yes.
What does that mean?
It's an anthology, and I'm the pen lady. So
You're 14, right? How old are you?
I'm 16, actually.
Oh, big girl. So you should be a depend lady.
Yes, I'm the pen lady.
All right, so Codrus now, after this debate, I mean, everyone's in a year, we celebrate the children, and then it seems we just put them back. Italo Akishia said she will start saving tomorrow. I wish it was today. At least we'll be able to follow that up. Yes. She said, but how do we follow up to ensure that these children actually have that saving habit, investing habit, and thinking of tomorrow to say, tomorrow I might have to provide this for myself. I mean, not of course burdening the children.
Absolutely.
You understand? Because they are
Absolutely.
children, they should be catered for. But helping them to build that habit of saving and investing and looking into the future.
Thank you very much. I think it's very important to realize that this is a joint responsibility. The children themselves have to show the willingness to learn. So knowledge is very important. Knowledge about money, knowledge about finance is very important. And it's very important to also understand that money is a means of exchange of value. So when children realize this, that by the time they create value, they get money, it gives them the comfort to be able to create value consistently and be able to find something to invest. It also has to do with the parents. I think parents and guardians also have to take responsibility for ensuring that the children are well taught. Just like Iteoluwa said, it's a skill, right? And the earlier you start, the better you become at it. Then for us at Codrus, we are also responsible for training and developing through our various channels, webinars, television programs like this, to continue to teach and encourage our parents and guardians on the need to develop that skill for their children. And that's why we are saying that every child deserves a milestone fund. So if parents are able to commit to opening the Codrus Milestone Fund for their children, it's an opportunity to begin to save and invest from now, and they consistently do that, for a very, very long term.
Well, very, very interesting, because when you say it's a joint responsibility, obviously, it's not just the teachers and it's not Codrus. I wonder what Codrus even has to gain from all of this. So actually, I guess that the parents the children will learn faster from what they see their parents do. So let's find out from more children. We have more children now joining us. So Iteoluwa Akishi did not have that victory alone, right, Iteoluwa? No. So we don't think it's all your brain work. What were their roles? I see this is the head girl, and another speaker there. What did they help you do to win this?
She was my co-debater. And she was my support system.
A support system? Yes. What did support system do?
Give me the confidence.
Okay, the moral.
So
support. How did you prepare for this debate?
First of all, I needed to understand the topic because it was something that I've heard before, but I needed solid points. So I had to read on it and actually, understand it by myself before I needed to know where to look, what to type, and actually which points to formulate in my head to actually, get there and do
what
was
their role practically? What did they do? What did your co-debater do? What did your support system do?
We actually did the research together. Names? Her name is Daring.
Hi, Daring.
Hi.
And
that's Tammy.
Tammy.
Tamila,
Hello,
right?
Tammy. Support system. All right. So what exactly did they do? Were they the ones who went online to get the information? Did they give you scripts, or what exactly did they
We
do?
did that together. I did my research and they did their research, and then we brought it together and we kind of like removed some points, added some points, and then, you know, did a quick briefing in the bus on our way there because we're also nervous.
Okay, so now you have promised that you are going to start saving tomorrow. Tomorrow being the 28th of May.
Yes.
Not the next day, not the tomorrow. How do you want to start? Do you have like is there a piggy that
Yes,
you want
I
to do, or do you have an investment? Have you spoken to your parents about investment platform? How do you want to do it?
I actually did speak to my dad about investment yesterday, but I do have a piggy bank, and all of my money's with my dad because I kind of overspend. I tend to overspend a bit. So I'm looking into actually going into investments. You know.
So have you spoken to your dad about investments?
I spoke to him briefly yesterday, but I'm sure we'll continue the conversation today.
All right, so Codros, what investments, if they want to do investment,
Yes.
what platforms do they have? What opportunities do they have?
Okay, I think it's also very important to say that they won a cash gift yesterday, and the cash gift was
So they can start the
presented.
saving with
Yes.
that.
So with that, we are actually investing that cash into the Codros Milestone Fund for them, for each of them that came from
So
Supreme
that's an
Education.
investment.
So that's an investment, and it's an encouragement to parents to look at investing in that particular fund. The Codros Milestone Fund is a long-term fund, and it gives that opportunity for them to be able to enjoy.
So what I
returns.
mean, we have a lot of, there's the equities market, there's the fixed income market.
Yes.
You can buy stocks, you can do bonds.
Yes.
You know, what are some of those areas that...
Okay, the opportunities are enormous and are there in the market, and the equity market is still doing pretty much well. The fixed income market is also there, where people can buy bonds, can buy treasury bills, can buy commercial papers, and more importantly is the mutual fund, which is always available, and the mutual fund is doing quite well. It brings various investors together for them to be able to place investment, and the risk and the returns are shared amongst all the investors. So it provides
So these are
that
some of the
opportunities.
information you need to give to them,
Yes.
so they can decide,
Yes.
or at least their parents can help them to decide,
Yes.
you know, on which they should embrace,
Yes.
and that has the long term.
So that's what we'll continue to do. That's what the debate started with yesterday. Today also, I have some
I
of my
hope we'll not wait
colleagues.
till 27th of May 2023.
No, we will not. We will not. The engagement continues. The Every Child a Milestone Initiative engagement continues across schools, with children, with parents, to continue to educate and to enlighten them, encourage them to invest, and put their funds to grow.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Ayodele Oni, Head
Thank you.
Retail, Codros Asset Management, and Itolu Akinshi, and her moral support system, and her co-debater. Thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations. We do hope that in a couple of months when we come to you, we'll see those savings that you have started.
Definitely.
Thank you so much for having us, and happy Children's Day to all children out there.
Thank you so much for coming on the show, and
Thank you.
enjoy your day. All right, so we'll take a break now. After that break, we do have another conversation coming on. It's Business Morning. We don't seem to be able to run away from the issue of commodities and food prices. It's act on first before you even go to saving and investment. But that's after the break. This is Business Morning on Channels Television. And just before we head to the next conversation, let's take a look at development in Seplat Energy. Recently, the company had a new chair, Mr. Basil Omi. He is the non-executive chair following internal and external search processes. Mr. Omi is not new in Seplat Energy. He's been a leading figure in the Nigerian oil and gas sector and also with the company. He joined the board in 2013 and helped it to achieve a dual listing in April 2014. Well, let's see the report of how he got this new position.
It's the end of an era and the beginning of another, from one leadership to another leader. Just a few days ago, he conducted one of the last of his many official assignments as the chairman of Seplat Energy. Now to be referred as the former chairman, Mr. ABC Ojako has stepped down. Simply put, Seplat Energy has a stalwart as the new chairman. He is Mr. Basil Umiyi. In the last media engagement in his former capacity and the first for the new man, both engage a few of us to a discussion.
Not only is he very vast with over 4 decades of experience in the oil and gas company, he has also been on other boards. So he's bringing in a number of things, technical expertise, financial and commercial expertise. He was the country chair of Shell in Nigeria. So there's really nothing new. So if today, 13 years after, I find a man like him to succeed me, for me, it is a great honor.
From inception, he had a long strategic vision, and for a company he expects that will provide sustainable energy solutions to the society meant he had to answer a few questions of expertise and financial muscle.
We created jobs. When we started, we had just 37 people we inherited from Shell. Today, Seplat is employing over 700 people.
And the results are there. Today, Seplat is the largest independent energy company in Nigeria, adding value to the assets they acquired, adding more assets, signed an ExxonMobil transaction, the largest by any indigenous oil and gas company. Also, they are responsible for 30% of Nigeria's gas to electricity. The new man says he won't drop the ball.
We will lead the transition to greener energy. And the way we are going to do that is this. One, we need to keep our oil production up. First of all, to finance the economy of Nigeria, because oil will still be there in the economy of the world for a long, long time. If we even, because you need energy, especially developing countries in Africa. This is one of the foreign exchange resources we have. It is that oil that will finance the development and the technology for greener energy.
Both men are confident that the growth trajectory will continue based on the strong bond and understanding among the board members.
From energy to commodities, well, the talk of food security or threats to food security is not new these days. Just yesterday, the World Bank is warning of global recession, the likelihood of global recession. And a lot of countries we see are putting up different policies and different approaches to protect themselves against food insecurity. And it's all coming out as consequences of the war which is going on in Ukraine now. What should Nigeria be doing? We have joining us to discuss that Mr. Bello Dogondaji is a National Secretary, Federation of Agricultural Commodity Association. He joins us from our Abuja studio. Good morning, Mr. Dogondaji. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning to you all.
Yeah. So, we see the price of wheat hitting, in fact, broken the ceiling and gone off. We've seen corn is not even available. And of course, it's affecting the products, bread and all those staple food. You are heading an association, at least you're one of the executives of an association that looks into commodities. What are we doing? What are we doing actually to protect the people, protect local demands at a time when food security is seriously threatened?
Good morning, viewers. I represent Federation of Agricultural Commodity Associations of Nigeria. That is FACAN. FACAN is the umbrella body for over 70 agricultural commodities in Nigeria. And the question you ask, it's really a question that borders on commodities activities in Nigeria, especially in recent time. That is the war between Russia and Ukraine, which has changed a lot of, which has brought in a lot of activities, especially on the movements of agricultural commodities and, of course, the energy sector. I would want to tell you that here in Nigeria, especially we on the commodity business, we didn't fold our arms. We are really very proactive, and we are on top of the situations. I will want to tell you that a lot of activities are ongoing, especially on the production of wheat in Nigeria. You recall sometimes ago, there are activities that were introduced in the production of wheat in Nigeria. You remember, until now, the wheat production is concentrated in 13 states, and now it has increased to 16 states in Nigeria. And you could also recall that between 130,000 hectares and 150,000 hectares were being approved for Uncle Borrowers program by the Central Bank of Nigeria to the Wheat Association of Nigeria. And they have started the irrigation farming, and they are just about to harvest. And the harvest, of course, you could imagine what it will be. And along this line, there are a lot of interventions from the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development and some other critical stakeholders. Some of these interventions, it will interest you to know, includes, among others, improved seeds, for planting. Over the years, good seeds have been developed that will resist heat, and it's part of the activities to forestall the shortage of wheat in Nigeria. You also know that mechanization is also one of the factors that would boost the production of wheat in Nigeria. You will also need to know that expansion program is currently going on in this sector. And with all these activities, I believed the wheat sector would not suffer from the global phenomenon. And I believe very soon we would, the dry season wheat will be out. So it will cushion the effect of the short in supplies.
All
then
right.
About the corn.
Go ahead, please.
Hello?
Go ahead, please.
Yes, about the corn. You will recall that the maize subsector is really on top of the situations. You recall sometimes ago, they launched, they commissioned their pyramids in Kaduna. And you recall also the activities that followed. And I will tell you, up to this time I'm telling you, we are talking, the prices of corn is stable in Nigeria. Very stable. But, wet season is on. The dry season is already, the dry season farming also has also come out.
But Mr. Dogundaji, if you say the price of corn is stable, then the poultry feed mills producers can't even, they say they can't even access the corn. So where are they? Where is the corn?
I am telling you this. Let them see the association that produces maize. The Maize Association of Nigeria. I can tell you, in their warehouses, they have maize. And the maize is below 200,000 naira per metric ton. As I am speaking to you, I know the president is hearing me, and I know he is poised for, is ready to face, to give them whatever quantities they need.
Okay, does it mean that there's a gap, a break in communication link between those who produce this feed meal and the producers of corn? Is that a possible challenge here?
Well, if there's a gap, I think the gap needs to be bridged. It needs to be bridged. Because the cycle of production, especially on maize, during the wet season, in the southern part of this country, you have about 2 seasons. I mean, production lines 2 times because of the rain. And here and one production time for dry season. That is in the southern part of Nigeria. Then here in the north, during the dry season, you plant twice. Then in the wet season, you go. Sometimes some people do it twice, some people do it once. And there's a lot of production going on. I am aware of this.
All right,
yes, but the gap that exists between the associations and the main and the
producers
livestock,
of the feed mill, yes,
producers needs to be breached.
Okay, I think we will follow up on that. At least we're in the media. We're here to bring all sides of the story, and hopefully they are watching. And they would know to call you. And if somebody calls me to ask for you, I'm going to connect them to you. But you also...
Yes.
All right. So you talked about
No, you see, this has been a problem, really. I know there was a meeting where I was also privy to be part of the meeting, especially when at the early 2021, when the other associations were calling that they don't have sufficient maize. Then the other people said, okay, at the time when this thing was drawn up, you are supposed to be our off-takers. You are not our off-takers, and you are now asking for, So we need to streamline. There has to be synergy between the operators, between the producers and the consumers.
All right. So another interesting, heartwarming information you said was the one with wheat, because wheat, is used for a whole lot of things, and we have seen how the price is gone up about 50% or 60% this year since the war started. This harvest that you're talking about, when can Nigerians expect to feel the impact of, the concentration on production and the harvest of wheat?
Wheat is an interesting commodity. It has its own time during the dry season, and between November passing through up to February. And this war this war between Ukraine and Russia started in February. So in between this gap, whatever impact we are seeing, it is a global impact, as a matter of fact. And as it is going, I am just telling you some of the steps the operators in Nigeria had taken. It means we are being proactive. Even before the war started, even when they were drumming for the war, at least the players in the industry, they have been proactive. So let us see what their proactiveness would produce. But I am telling you what has happened,
Okay, so we're expectant. Honestly, Mr. Dogundaji, we're expectant, and I'll call you back to say, oh, you said there's a program going on or there are efforts going on, especially
yes, there are a lot of intervention activity, especially on wheat. Because until now, it is 13 states, and they have increased simply because of the seeds that are heat resistant now. So you could see why the increase is. Until now, they are not in the north central, but now they are in the north central. Their activities. You could see it was even launched in Plateau. And they are even up to Niger State. And the Niger State, they have a lot of land for every agricultural commodity you can do in Niger State. They have abundant land.
All right.
And the people in Niger State, they are very hardworking and willing,
All right, Mr. Bello Dongodaji, the National Secretary, Federation of Agricultural Commodity Association. We have a lot of follow-up conversations to do with you. We'll certainly call you in no distance time, and we do hope you will create time to be here on the show again when we would like to follow up on those, especially the wheat and the corn conversation that you have started here. But for now, I mean, time has just gone by. Thank you so much for coming on the show, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Well, let's leave the commodities market for now and head to the money market and see what Anita has for us.
Good morning, Ini.
Good morning.
Now, can you believe it? In just 2 days, just when you thought that the market had, was on a losing spree, having lost about 556 billion naira, but in just 2 days, it has gained much more than that. And that means the market has gained more than 640 billion naira between Wednesday and Thursday.
So, Anita, can we say that the reaction to the hike of the MPR is over? Can we safely say that?
Well, I think as far as that's concerned, I wouldn't say it's over, but, you know, the equities market always has a mind of its own. Sometimes it could just be just 1 minute, it's up, and then the other minutes it's down, you know. But for the fixed income market...
don't get too attached.
Yes, don't get too attached to it. But I think for the fixed income market, that's where much of the interest will be. And so that's where we're going to first. So now let's take a look at how it turned out at the close of Thursday's trading session. At the bonds market, it tilted to the bearish side. There was sell-off, profit taking, particularly on the January 2026 bond, okay, of that market. Then while it closed flat at a mid and long segment, take a look at what's on the board then. Total number of deals carried out at the bond segments of the fixed income market, 17. Highest concentration was on the 21st of January 2042 paper. Now you can see across board there, not much of activity carried out on these three other instruments. Now, but look at the Treasury bills market. It was also in bearish. It had a bearish tilt. It was mixed, but at the same time, it ended in the bearish territory. Average yield expanded slightly by 1 basis point to 3.9%. So that's coming after some days where the market had been seeing, some, bullish trend, but now it seems to have slimmed down a bit. But to give us more insight, we'll be talking to a fixed income dealer at Access Bank, Senator Audu, to give us more insight on that aspect of the market. Now, but moving over to the open market operations, average yield there remained unchanged at 4.4%. And this is what you see on the board there. Total number of deals carried out there, 5. Highest was on the 3rd of January 2023 paper, while the 22nd of December 2022 paper had just 2 deals. In all of it is worth about 25 billion naira. Moving over to the central bank's special bills, there's an equal number there. Total number of deals carried out, 2. That's on the 6th of June 2022 paper and the 3rd of October 2022 paper. Both of them had 2 deals carried out at a total of 4.1 billion naira. Now, moving over to that market where we're talking about, 1.06% is what it printed at the close of Thursday's trading session, which translates to about 302 billion naira in gain. And that's against the previous more than 340 billion naira gain, totaling about 647 billion naira in just 2 days. And that came largely on the back of 27 gainers, particularly the share price of MTN Nigeria, which went up by about 4.4%. Now, moving over to the sectoral performance chart of that market, you can see it's a green color across board, except for the oil and gas counter, which went down by more than 0.5%. No thanks to the 2.24% drop on the share price of Owando. That's one of the key components of that counter. So now for that market, for that segment of that market, the activity chart, or the sectoral chart to be precise, it wasn't. It was fairly better than what we had. We've had 2 sessions of downturn on this counter. Moving over to the activity chart, volume of transactions carried out there, it dropped by 30.4% at 266.18 million units. value was in the green. Value was up by 20.81%, while the total number of deals carried out was down by 7.11%. So as far as that market is concerned, investors, they took advantage of, some of the losses there, although they decided to buy some stocks, particularly the bellwether stocks. So that's it for the market. We will look out for how Friday's trading session turns out today.
We certainly will, but it seems Nigeria's equities market, just as you said, has a mind of its own and doesn't go with the flow, at least in this case.
That's it.
Thank you so much, Anita. We'll take a break now. When we come back from that break, we'll be heading to London. Do stay with us. This is Business Morning on Channels Television. You're welcome back. Let's head to London now. All households with a domestic electricity connection will be getting a grant of £400 to help them cope with the rising energy bills. So we have Juliana joining us from the studio now. Juliana, good morning. Have you received your grant yet?
Good morning, Annie. No, I haven't received my grant, but I do have electricity, so hopefully I'll be getting that soon. Although with the £400 grant, it's not as simple as that. There was a £200 rebate announced in the budget, which no longer has to be repaid. So that now is a grant. And then there will be an additional £200. This is obviously all about yesterday's long-awaited announcement by the Chancellor. Some say Rishi Sunak went to the dispatch box kicking and screaming, because it did take a couple of weeks for the government to announce a package of support that they'll be providing families up and down the country who, as we all know, have been suffering with the cost of living crisis. We've got inflation currently running at a 40-year high in this country at 9%. It is going to cost the taxpayer between 15 and 20 billion pounds. A lot of Conservative backbench MPs not happy with this. They would rather that people get through these tough times rather than going into the government coffers. But there has been so much pressure mounting on the Chancellor for the past couple of weeks, particularly from the opposition Labour Party, who do feel as if they've scored an open goal with the government, because of course they were the first to announce this suggestion of a windfall tax on oil and gas giants. It was voted down 3 times by Tory MPs in Parliament over the past couple of weeks. However, yesterday the Chancellor did announce that there will indeed be a windfall tax on oil and gas firms, BP, Shell. Until December 2025, they will be paying an extra 25% on profits. This is going to raise about £5 billion. So there are lots of questions about where all this other money is going to come from. The £1,650 is equivalent to about £1 million naira. So if you are somebody who falls in the category of being disabled, being a pensioner, being on a low income, that is how much you will be receiving in the next couple of months. And some people do say that that is very, very generous. It's just now, what is the outlook for the British economy, considering the IMF has said that we are likely to be the G7 nation with the slowest growth over the next couple of years?
Yeah, well, good and bad news in one breath there. Well, there's also this investigation that indicates that migrant fruit pickers seem to be charged thousands in illegal fees to work on farms. What have you heard about this?
Well, I think that the discussion around fruit pickers and seasonal workers in the country has picked up pace because we are getting into the season where lots of British consumers would expect to be having lots of fresh strawberries, apples and fruits on their table. But there just are not enough workers. According to industry experts, in some regions across the country, seasonal workers are down by 75%. It all started, of course, with Brexit. The typical flow of how seasonal workers would get into the country was disrupted, and there are so many layers upon layers of bureaucracy that in some places fruit and vegetable is left rotting in the fields because there just are not enough people to get to pick them. Workers who are coming in are suffering from some serious levels of what some people would call a lack of a human rights violation. We know that the government and the Home Office have dedicated so much time and resources to trying to help fleeing Ukrainians get into this country, which means that those who are applying for visas to come and pick fruit are not being able to get here in time. So it is a big issue, something that the government say that they are working on. But according to the latest statistics, about 500,000 vacancies are available for sectorial workers in the horticulture sector, and there are not enough people to fill that gap.
All right, Juliana, thank you so much. We'll certainly get all the updates from you at 1:30 during Business Incorporated.
Thanks.
Let's head to the crypto space now. Normally it would be a red, but it's been a red trading day all through. So I don't know if it will be different today, laddie.
Well, it's a red Friday, as we always, our Fridays, we always look out for the red or green, but it's mostly red.
That's why I did red on.
And yeah, you actually got the right color today. And it's extreme fear as usual in this market for the couple of past months now. We've been in extreme fear at 12 points this morning. Market cap deeper down, trying to get back to that $1 trillion mark we've not seen in a while. It's down 5% this morning. Volume traded up 51%. And my eyes on this Bitcoin dominance there. See, it's been trending up, and it's at 46 points for 6% this morning. Price of Bitcoin, $28,800. It did fall below that 28,500 support. It's down 2% this morning. The next one will be the 27,000. That's what we'll be looking at. $42 billion traded in Bitcoin this morning. Price of Ethereum is also down 8%. We see volume traded $28.04 billion. And we see it's all red with big losses on the top all-SPY market cap. Let's bring in Olumide Adesina, our financial market analyst. Hello, Olumide. Good morning.
Yeah. Hello, laddie.
Yeah. Well, this Friday is looking quite bloody with massive losses we're seeing, in the crypto market. Olumide, it seems there's more pain in this market.
Yeah. Understand the fact that Bitcoin and many altcoins are suffering some form of moderation, in spite of the fact that we saw UX stocks ending positive. One would have expected that the crypto market would have ended green. But I think there are three macros we need to look at. First, we have seen that liquidity is really drying up in the crypto market. Also, the Terra collapse had affected the Ethereum network. You need to understand the systemic importance Ethereum plays in the NFT space. And that's why, surprisingly, we saw Solana's NFT volume surpassing that of Ethereum. And that also triggered selling pressures around DeFi assets because they are solely on the Ethereum network. And having said that, macros coming from powerful investment analysts, especially one from Gunum Partners. They have over 350 billion assets under management. Their chief investment officer gave an outlook that Bitcoin could fall as low as 8,000 because of the strong U.S. economy and the fact that the U.S. Fed is more concerned about taming inflation. Also gave much investors some form of anxiety. So pretty much, Ladi, the crypto market is trading at 1.2 trillion. And it seems that more downward pressure might likely occur if the US Fed carries the action in June.
Right, that seems to be the consensus with most analysts, right? But how are you seeing next week play out?
Well, next week will quickly be quiet. We expect a choppy session, particularly among a lot of altcoins. But for Bitcoin, I think the price to watch is if it can maintain above 28, well, it means that all will not be loose. But once it breaks below 28, then I think the dynamos might start falling.
Right. All right, Olumide, thank you so much. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you.
Okay, so looking at the gainers list, we see it's mostly stable coins. That shows you that traders are running away from most of those altcoins, and Bitcoin at this point, they're trying to get some stability. Even though we've seen a lot of crazy times with stable coins in this market, we see it's mostly stable coins on the top gainers counter, but PaxG is up there, up by 0.38%. And over to the top losers counter, we see UST, the stable coin that caused all of the racket in that stablecoin market, is back down again, 62% this morning. GMT, that's the one of those play to earn tokens. It's down about 28%, and Elrond there down 16%. Rune, and we have Ape there.
Bitcoin down 14%. So we're seeing massive double-digit losses in the crypto market. So it's really red right now in this market, and it seems the weekend might even be worse.
If there's a word like redder. You know, sometimes I can't believe that. On this chair, we sat down and talked about Bitcoin going for about $65,000. And now we're struggling to get to $30,000 in just a couple of months.
And all eyes on that critical 28,000 at this point.
Yeah, as Olumide mentioned there, 28,000. I mean, these are days when you learn lessons. So even if we get out of this season and things look rosy again, you know, there's a possibility of it.
You must remember the bear.
Remember the bear.
The bear will always come back.
Thank you so much, Laddie. Well, that's it on the program for this week. It's been an interesting ride for me. I hope it has been for you also. Lots of knowledge shared and gained on the different conversations that we've had here on Business Morning. Next week, we'll have another set of conversations for you from Channel Television. Thank you so much. Enjoy your weekend. I'm Ini John Mekwa.